there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're lucky enough to be doing it too. I'm Bushka on Blitz, back with another dose of love, affection, and tanking justice. Today we're going to be doing the wonking thing. The shoulder wonking competition is all but over, and it's been incredibly successful. There's been an absolute bucket load of entries, and the top-notch scores at each tier have really been impressive. This is the day where we look at the two current runners-up from Tier 9, a T30 game and a T54 game. Now, both these games are pretty bloody impressive, and wow, it's been outstanding, really. The winner at the current rate, if it closed tomorrow, is a Leopard PTA for Tier 9, with a game that, if anyone can beat it, I will be super impressed, and you'll find out some more about that when the actual competition finishes up. If you haven't got your wonking entries in, you bloody well should. Keep going out there and doing huge damage. Tier 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, you're going to have some decent numbers, but if you do something big, send me a message at bushkawonking@gmail.com. A couple of other quick bits of housekeeping. You should probably all be using Blitz Stars for your stats checking. It's a fantastic site, and it does a great job. Everything comes out of the pocket of the sock robber. He is the fellow that runs Blitz Stars. It was down for a day or two early in the week. Well, not even for a day or two, but for about a day, I think it was. The reason being that he pays for it all himself, and he had to basically fork over the cash to run the server. It's only costing him, it's costing him about $120 a month, but there's a couple of blokes who've kicked into Patreon and PayPal there. I'm going to send him a donation later in the day. If you think about it, it's probably a good thing. If you're using it, it's worth noting that he's paying for it all himself. But onwards and upwards, and I'll put the link in there, but it's www.blitzstars.com. You can't miss it, and it's an absolute crackerjack site. This is Mod Haddad. Now, Mod Haddad is in the T30 on the Good Guys team. Everyone loves the green team. And he is on Mirage. This is currently the third place holder in the shoulder wonking Tier 9 category. Now, there's no prizes for third and second. We only give prizes for the blue ribbon events around here. But this is a great game for all that. And it took the number one spot from I Hate Camper in the IS8, who took the number one spot from Maddox in the ST1. And it's just been going onwards and upwards. Tier 9 has been the most hotly contested in terms of top-notch damage results. Now, the quality of the recording is not the best, but for all that, you will get the general idea. Now, he's using a whole heap of mods here on this. I don't use these mods. Sorry, he's not using mods. What am I saying? What he's actually got is a different recording device. He's using Mobizen. Now, he's in the T30, and he's got the monster cannon, the 150mm, and doesn't it just do the business? The T30 is one of my favourite Tier 9 tanks. It is an absolute crackerjack, and he's not wasted a shot there on that Leo 1, but he is following along nicely. Waits, the Leo 1 is oblivious. He is not oblivious anymore because Mod has put in a HE shell. Got a bit of a low roll there, in fact, on the HE shell. Don't worry about that. He'll get a bigger roll in just a wee while. The Leopard 1 would have done very well there to start paying attention to the T30 rather than what's in front of him, but he's compounded his error by actually rolling forward. Now, Mod does something that I find intriguing. He uses the zoom function to get a good look at the enemy and aim the shot. And then he actually zooms out before firing and presses the button. It's pretty interesting. I've never done it that way myself, and I can see that you would lose a lot of shots if they move slightly, but he does it on such a regular basis, and he hits every time. It just doesn't seem to be an issue for him. And he hits a lot in this game. And you can see he's not averse to switching over to the HE when it is required. Again, even on a slight shot like that. And I don't know whether he's doing it because he's on PC and he's able to do it like that and it locks in. It's quite phenomenal for me. It works a treat. you can see it works every bloody time so far. So maybe that's something to look at in the future. I don't actually know what the benefit of it is, but it looks cool. So there you go, Mod. Happy days for that. There you go. He zoomed in, lets it fly, and another one bites the dust. He's up to 3 kills. It's 3 tanks v2, and he's had a couple of monster rolls on the Leopard already. So he's definitely padding the stats. And the IS-8 takes another one for good measure. It's nice to see a big-ass derp gun doing the business, because all the other real top-notch entries, the guys who have been leading at X and 9, for the most part, the big games have been from medium tanks. A PTA game's leading, a T-54 is coming second. We did have some good early runs from the IS-8 and the ST-1, but this derper here, Mod Haddad, has held number 1 for quite some time. And you can see there, he held it for good reason, because as you're going to see in the damage numbers, bought my team all noob, says the Waffle Tractor. You got to love it. In the damage numbers at the end of the game here, you'll see they were quite convincing. And it left him right out on top in no uncertain terms. Just under 7,000 damage there. Very, very solid. The Mastery Badge, 6,703. Very nice numbers. 1,643 base XP, which is excellent. And a huge carry there. I mean, you can see no one else in the team topped 1,500 damage. And he's walked away with nearly 7,000 in a Tier X match. That'll get it done 9 times out of 10. So what's it take to beat that? Well, Lukaz from the EU server, I believe. Could be Russia. I'm not certain. But either way, the fellow who's leading is called Lukaz. Or not leading, coming second in the shoulder wonking is called Lukaz. And for a brief period of time before I received an absolutely incredible PTA game, he was coming first in both Tier 9 and Tier X. He's replaced Otto from APCR on Asia with what can only be described as a fantastic Object 140 game, which was the tank that we all thought would probably lead the shoulder wonking damage comp. But Otto got in very early with a 7k plus Leopard 1 game and led all souls. Now, this is not just a sniping game. He does a lot of spotting here for his team, and he does the right thing. I mean, it's a Tier 9 game, and he's in the T-54, so you'd expect him to do moderately well at best. But this is well above and beyond moderately well. This is a masterclass. He does incredibly well. And it's no surprise, considering that he was so good in the Object 140, that he does this well in the T-54. He's picked that stock Tiger with that horror turret and is making hay while the sun shines. And he's far enough away and has enough camo that they're not spotting him. So he's in an absolutely fantastic position. He's got spotters forward on the left, and he has spotters on the right. Well, not spotters so much as people camping in respawn. There's still 3 guys in spawn here. And this Tiger 2, he's got spanked, and then he's rolled forward with his stock turret, and he's getting spanked again. And Lukaz is pretty confident that he's not going to have to worry about the Tiger 2, and he sees an opportunity to put shots into an ST1, which is a much better target, and takes it. Now, you've got to put your hats off for that kind of awareness, because the Tiger 2 is not really going to worry anyone, but the ST1 is a big boy and can do a whole lot of damage. So he's neglected shots on an easy target, a soft target, and gone for shots on a target with a little bit more risk, because he had to expose himself to those guys on the right. But that didn't matter. And he's telling him, stay and we win. And he's very, very, very clever, because he's absolutely correct. He's in a fantastic position. And these guys are all in horrible positions. There's a bunch of tanks in the middle of the map, which is a horrible place to be on Canal. And he is hull down in a T-54, taking shot after shot into enemies who are sideways and in really poor positions. And again, he forgoes a shot on the E-75 to get shots into a good clear target on the ST1. And he takes a hit from the 75, but it's well worth taking, because that tank had to be cleared. And switches to heat, no shame there, mate, because that E-75 with 201mm of pen, which is what you have on your AP for the T-54, is too much to handle. 75 fires, and he rolls out again. Another shot into a prime target, and he's still hull down and still not exposing himself to the baddies over there. Sees a shot, sideways, switches to AP. You've got to love this kid can absolutely play. Back into the heat for the E75, and back again, hitting a shot on this IS3 who is rushing down the hill. It's just absolutely top shelf. Look at him. He's rolling from one side to the other, just laying out death and destruction. He has not stopped firing the entire time. The Reds are playing pretty badly, but they're not being as bad as you'd expect. And he is utilising every spare second to put shots in and take out the right targets. He's just about broken his thumbs. He's fired so many rounds. Look at this thing go. I mean, this is the T-54 in all its glory. Using the heat when it's absolutely necessary. Switching to AP when it's otherwise needed. And he has had an enormous carry. Absolutely enormous. And it's not enough to take first place in the shoulder or wonking competition because there's an even bigger game from a Leopard PTA that's come in. He held first place for about a day in both 9 and 10. I wouldn't put it past Lukaz to go and get first place again because that shows you that the kid is an absolute killer. Mastery game, 7,368 damage. Look at the rest of the team combined. They haven't. And look at that, 5 spots as well. He didn't just sit at the back and do nothing. He was one of the furthest forward of his team, and he used hull down tactics and absolutely fantastic priority firing to get the job done. So hats off to you, mate. Over 7,000 damage in a Tier 9 match is something to crow about. There's still time, boys and girls. If you can, get your Bushka on Blitz shoulder or wonking competition entries in. You've got to do the damage first and make sure you record it. But, I mean, the prizes are decent. You're going to get some gold, some premium time, and a shout out here on the channel. Thanks very much for watching, humans. Stay safe on the battlefield. Until next time, bye for now.